Hot air ballooning is a popular activity here in Wisconsin, even in winter, but the sport requires teamwork in the right weather conditions. We've come back to Schlitz Audubon Nature Center in Milwaukee, and in just a few minutes, we'll join Darren Powers and his family as they take a balloon ride during the Monroe Balloon Rally. And then Deb Wolniak visits Wigwam Mills in Sheboygan to learn how they make the socks that keep us warm all winter. But first, I'll take you fishing for Lake Michigan trout and salmon with Dumper Dan's Sport Fishing Charters of Sheboygan and Jim Babiash, the high bidder for this trip at the Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet. I'm Dan Small, and it's time once again for Outdoor Wisconsin.
Summer to fall, winter to spring, from Green Bay to where the St. Croix sings, from Catamaran to Superior Shore. Outdoor Wisconsin, Outdoor Wisconsin.
It's a foggy June morning here out on Lake Michigan. I'm out with Dumper Dan Sport Fishing Charters and Dumper Dan himself, Dan Welch again. I got a little cold today, so Dan, I'm not going to do too much talking.
That's fine.
But how many years have we done this? Gosh, 20 or at least now.
Many years. I would say 20 years at least. You and I have been together fishing and had some great shows together on Outdoor Wisconsin.
And you know, this is our 30th anniversary, so I thought we'd present you with a retro Outdoor Wisconsin hat. You don't have to wear it today, but we'll be out again in July, so maybe you can have it.
You betcha. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, cold spring, late spring. What's the fishing like?
Well, like everybody knows here in the Midwest, we had just an unusual long winter, cold spring. But fishing-wise out of Sheboygan, it's been very good. The colder water, you got the fog today. That's the reason why we have the fog, is the colder water temperatures. But the fishing's been good. We've been catching rainbow trout, coho salmon, king salmon, lake trout. So for us, it hasn't slowed the fishing down at all with the cold spring. But it's been different, you know. And we started a little bit later. Normally we start in April. This year we started in May. But now in June here, it's been fantastic.
Well, our first mate is another captain, Captain Matt Thayer, and he's setting rods in the back of the boat, and pretty soon we'll be catching fish, we hope. Matt, that's two fish on the same rig. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Early in the morning like this, a lot of times we like to use glow-in-the-dark baits. You know, our water's really clear, so as the sun comes up, the glow isn't as necessary. You know, our visibility is somewhere between 30 and 50 feet, depending on the day. This bait, though, early in the morning has been a top producer. The Crush Glow tape, that's crushed ice that glows in the dark, followed by a fly that has some glow beads in it.
Okay, let's see the fly. And what do they think that is?
They actually think it's an alewife. What this whole rig does, it's called a flasher fly combo. The fly sits about 2 feet behind the flasher. And in the water, the flasher will rotate and spin. It throws shine, it throws color, and then this fly moves behind. The secret is tying this leader just long enough to impart action on the fly without moving it so much that the fish can't predict where it's going to be. So we like hooked them in the corner of the mouth rather than in the top of the head or anything else like that. So,
well, it's worked. So
seems to be working.
Get her back down there. Our special guest today is Jim Babiash of JustCamo.com. And Jim and his gang were at our banquet last year, and you bought this strip. In fact, you kind of raised the bar on the bidding, didn't you? That was fun.
We had a lot of fun at it, yes.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough to fish last year with you out of Racine. And I did not get the fish, unfortunately, and I really wanted to go this year. And I wanted to go with Dumper Dan because I've heard a lot of good things and seen him on TV, obviously, a lot on your program. So when the bidding started, I didn't realize that there was another gentleman that felt the same way I did.
Yeah, you're not going to outbid the Ballasteri clan.
I noticed that. And I know my group here was all with us, and they were looking at, what do you do, Dad? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it was like, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
So thank you, though, for stopping it.
Well,
we split it, which was great.
We stopped it at a reasonable level, mid 5 figures, 4 figures. Sorry, 4 figures.
Yeah. But no, it was well worth it. A lot of fun, and it's all going to a good cause. So
yeah, well, we appreciate that.
And that's the reason I'm willing to kind of spend that kind of money. Not only do we like coming out here and enjoying the outdoors, but your program in Channel 10 has been super. So. It's good to be a supporter.
Well, we're glad to have you, and you brought your family with you again, yes. And we're going to catch some fish.
We are going to catch some fish, absolutely.
Well, guys, that didn't take long.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
You guys can see how he's holding the rod at 45. He's doing perfect right now. Slow turning the handle, keeping a bend in the rod just like that. What I'm gonna do as we're fighting him is adjust the drag. That's good. Keep cranking, keep cranking, keep cranking. Now raise the rod up. Wait. Crank now. You only want to bring him when he wants to be brought. Okay, up slow with the rod. Up. I got him. King salmon to start the trip. There you are, my man. Good work. Just keep that hook tilted up.
Well, you made short work of that, Nick. Yeah. That's a nice king. That's what, a 2-year-old, 3-year-old?
I would say it's a small 3-year-old fish.
Okay.
You're doing great. Come right over here. Our goal is going to be to try to get the fish to come behind the boat. Right now it's looking like he's eyeing up our planer board. Keep winding. You can see that thing that you see splashing on the surface there, that's the flasher that lays right in front of the fly. It's about 2 feet in front of the fish. Crank. Now just lift up slow. Up. I got him.
What do we got back there?
Nice king. Hold your fish up.
Well, Jim,
I got the rod.
that's what we came for.
Yes, sir. Look at that.
Nice fish.
How big is this?
I would say that's about a 8-9 pounder.
Man, I know you've got wire line on some of your rods, but what is this exactly?
Yeah, we got a bunch of different types of line that we use for different applications. On this particular rod, this is what we call copper. This is copper wire. It's coated in nickel tin to make it a little bit more resilient. And what it does, since it's so heavy, is it takes our bait down to a particular level. This particular reel has 300 feet of copper line on it, which is a long ways to crank back in, but when the fish are down deep, you have to use, you want to catch fish, so you got to use that stuff. This copper, you can see it terminates right here. We tie a regular old monofilament fishing leader on it. Pound test wise, we're using 25-pound test leader, and the copper itself is 45-pound test. A lot of people hear 45-pound test and they get a little scared, maybe think it's unsporting to crank in the fish or whatever, but we're using it just for the weight. We terminate everything in that 25-pound test leader. Come on, fish, just give up now. We're gonna raise the rod slow, and we might even have you walk back. I can slowly lift up, take 3 steps back. Back. I got him. This is what June is known for. Catching mixed species. That's a rainbow trout right there. The last couple fish we've caught have been kings. Not yet. Oh wait, that's a big one there. That's what we came out here for. You're doing good. Keep cranking. Up. I got him. You can lower that rod down now. He's in the net. Another king salmon.
Nice fish.
Well, you got half the catch there, or a little less than half. You guys have a good day?
Absolutely. Yeah, a great day, Dan. Thank you.
You bet. Well, thank you for your donation, and hope to see you at the banquet next year.
We'll be there, and I'm going to be a little cautious on my bidding, but I want to get back with Dumper Dan.
Yeah?
This was really a great trip. Matt, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Both of you, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Never assume a frozen lake or river is safe to walk on, because currents, underwater springs, and snow cover can all affect ice thickness any time in winter, not just early or late in the season. So if you go ice fishing, or just for a walk on the ice, carry a heavy spud bar or ice chisel with a strong wrist strap and test the ice with it as you go. Slam it down hard before each step, and if the ice is solid, repeat the process until you reach your destination. If the spud bar ever punches through the ice, turn around and walk back the way you came. And watch out for cracks, heaves, slush, or deep snow, any of which can indicate thin ice. To paraphrase Teddy Roosevelt, walk softly and carry a big stick. Stay safe out there. If you watched the latest episode of Around the Corner with John McGivern, you may have seen him checking out a hot air balloon in Monroe with a veteran balloonist.
He's crazy.
Outdoor Wisconsin was in Monroe too this past summer to check out the Monroe Balloon Rally. Our cameras joined Darren Powers and his family to learn what it takes to plan and carry out a successful balloon ride. 2 key factors: teamwork and the cooperation of Mother Nature.
name of it is Tequila Sunrise. The yellow on the top looks like a sun, and the reds and yellows on the bottom of the balloon represent the drink Tequila Sunrise. And that actually, the name stemmed from our trip to Albuquerque. If we get Albuquerque, New Mexico, and tequila, seems to be quite popular down there. And then the sun on top of the balloon sealed the deal on that name, so it was Tequila Sunrise. My crew is made up of my wife, Lisa Powers, my son, Dylan Powers. My wife is the crew chief. My son is the junior crew chief. And then I have many family and friends who I need. I can't do this without them. It's dead set. I can't go out and fly by myself. I need crew in order to go out and fly a hot air balloon.
Well, I started out simply when you roll out the fabric and we start to inflate it, it's all jumbled up. So I started out simply pulling out the fabric, helping it inflate faster. I moved into holding, we call this the mouth. I moved into holding that, along with maybe a partner on the other side. And now I'm starting to work on the crown line. Basically, you hold it, it helps keep the balloon steady when inflating.
Once we have the balloon standing, we've got hot air in it, we have the balloon at what we call equilibrium, which means that it's just about ready to take off. I check my surroundings, I make sure there's no other balloons in the way. I pull what we call the tie off, which is a rope that holds us to the ground, and I don't leave until I pull that release. The very first time I was around a hot air balloon, not only was I crewing on the hot air balloon, but I got a ride in a hot air balloon. The very first time I was ever on a hot air balloon. I had no inspiration to be around balloons before that, but once I did, I was hooked. I have over 500 flights in right now. I can almost remember each and every one of them because something special and something different happens on every flight. And it's very memorable to the first-time flyers, which is also memorable to me, so I can see that on their face. Hot air balloons are usually flown in the first 2 hours after sunrise or the first 2 hours prior to sunset, the last 2 hours prior to sunset. That's when the winds are at their lowest due to the fact that the sun is at the horizons. When you have the sun straight up in the air, you get thermals and you get larger wind activity from those. Wind conditions, I would like to see wind conditions under 10 miles an hour. Usually 10's my cutoff point. I can fly in faster winds, but we like the surface winds to be a little bit softer.
As usual, go left?
Yeah.
As our usual exit out of town? Okay.
I rely on our team immensely. Again, I can't do it without them. They navigate on the road. I fly as the crow flies. They've got to zigzag back and forth. Hot air balloon has its own majestic beauty to it. It's very majestic, it's very quiet. Without the burner, you can actually have a conversation with somebody on the ground, almost regardless of what altitude you're at.
Happy birthday!
Seeing the wildlife run around, being able to tickle the tops of the trees as we float along, it's so serene and so beautiful. Every flight, again, brings something special.
It's serene, you know? Many experiences you don't forget. You get up that high and the world's a new place.
I'm going to try to make a landing in the scrub field.
Right past the tree line, correct?
Okay, so now which farm owns, you think the one with the cows?
Yeah, because the strips go all the way around past that field.
When it comes to a final landing spot, in most cases I do ask permission before we land. There are situations where we need to land and then ask permission. The majority of the time it's usually not a problem. It's speechless. It's something you just have to experience for yourself.
Check out the Outdoor Wisconsin Facebook page to see Tequila Sunrise and some other balloons participating in the Monroe Night Glow Balloon event.
Hi, I'm Emmy Fink, and we're in Winnebago County for today's Know Wisconsin. It's time to set the story straight about a common winter bird myth. If you have warm water in a bird bath with the temperature below freezing, birds will bathe in it and then freeze to death because of their wet feathers. That is not true at all. Our source is birdsandblooms.com. Birds will drink from a heated bird bath, but if the temperature is well below freezing, they're pretty smart. They will not bathe in it. If you're still worried, you could offer them warm water to drink or put a large stone in the center of the bath to act as a perch. A big Outdoor Wisconsin thank you to Belinda Abenshine, who had a heated bird bath at her Tishigan Lake home in Racine County. This guy took a drink in 13-degree temps last winter. Thanks for the great photo, Belinda, and for thinking about the birds. We would love to feature your favorite outdoor moment, so just email us your photo at knowwisconsin@gmail.com. Please include your name, the city in which you live, and the county where the photo was taken. Now you know more about our bird friends right here in Wisconsin. Stay warm.
If you spend much time outdoors in winter, perhaps walking a trail like this one, you know how important it is to keep your feet warm and dry, both for comfort and protection against frostbite. Let's join Deb Wolniak at Wigwam Mills in Sheboygan to learn how they make socks for every sport and every season.
Wigwam is a company that was founded by my grandfather in 1905. My grandfather's first name was Herbert, and he founded it with two other gentlemen, and when they started, they made wool socks for lumbermen in the state of Wisconsin. And then my father came along and got into the company in 1924, and he was active until 1968. And we have always sold socks under the brand name Wigwam. But when the company was founded, the name of it was Hand Knit Hosiery. My father and grandfather bought out these two other gentlemen, and the company was renamed to Wigwam Mills in about 1957. Following that, I entered employment of the company in 1960 and have been here ever since. We consider ourselves to be a performance sock company. We put a high premium on quality and customer service and the marketing of our brand name, and we confine our distribution to the upper tier of the market we serve. We take great pride in what we do, as do our employees. Our primary market is for adults, and we make socks that are designed for women and men, and we also make socks for what's known as batmen, which are big and tall men. And the biggest sock we make is, I think, a size 18. We produce about 30,000 pair a day. And we have some large customers and we have some very small customers. Cabela's is one of our bigger customers, as well as Gander Mountain and the Bass Pro Shops. We also sell the outdoor specialty chain. It's called Recreational Equipment, or REI. And we sell Dick's Sporting Goods, and we sell the Sports Authority. Then we, as I noted, sell a lot of independent stores that are still in business today. Right now, our biggest market is the outdoor market, and that covers people that snowshoe, that snowboard, that ski, that like to hike, whether it be across country or in the mountains. And it covers people that like to hunt for birds such as pheasants and also big game. Most machines we have are in the knitting department, which knit the socks, and we have machines in the dye house where we wet process the socks. And we have machinery in the department where we finish the socks that we use to dry them and set the size. And then we have some equipment in our distribution center which helps us to facilitate the shipment of socks, but most of our machinery is in our knitting department, which has machines with various capabilities in terms of the weight of the sock and in terms of the nature of the fabric, in terms of how it's knit. Some styles we have 2 yarns in the sock, and some styles we have maybe 15 or 20 yarns that go through the head of the machine at various points in the knitting of the sock. The number of needles in our machines varies from 52 to 200. The machine starts knitting at the top of the sock, top of the leg, and works its way down through the leg, into the heel, through the foot, and the toe. Our machines make a sock within a period of 2 to, let's say, 7 minutes, depending upon the length of it and the complexity of the pattern. And when you're patterning, you have to slow the machine down a little bit. Where we make socks in multiple colors is dyed. Other yarn we get is in the natural state, and we knit the sock and then we dye it or bleach it. And some wool yarn we get in is shrink treated before it comes in, and other yarns we get are not shrink treated, and we shrink treat the socks ourselves. We buy wool yarn that is made on 2 different systems. One is the woolen system, which is short fibers, and the other is the worsted system, which is wool yarn made with longer fibers. And then we also use cotton yarn. We use basic polyester yarn, polypropylene yarn, acrylic yarn, and other yarn we use is in blends, and the blends are created for the purpose of maintaining a price on the yarn or achieving a desired visual effect with the yarn. Example are 55% wool and 45% nylon. Other yarns are 80% wool and 20% nylon. We have yarns that maybe have 5 different fibers in them for one reason or another. A lot of people look upon socks as something you just buy and put on, and they put a bigger premium on the kind of footwear they use. But you have to remember that a piece of footwear, mainly a shoe or a boot, is something that you wear, and when you wear it, your foot is in an encapsulated environment, and your socks help you to deal with that environment by keeping your feet drier and more comfortable within that piece of footwear. They also aid in the upper fitting of that piece of footwear.
In addition to a pair of heavy wool socks, it's a good idea to wear a lightweight pair of liner socks to wick away moisture and help prevent blisters. For more information on this week's features, visit mptv.org and click on Outdoor Wisconsin. I'll be at the Milwaukee Boat Show starting January 16th. The show runs for 2 weekends at State Fair Park, so stop by our booth to say hello. I'll also be at the Wisconsin Lake Home and Cabin Show at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison Saturday, January 24th. So come on out and catch my seminar on outdoor fun in Wisconsin. Well, next time I'll visit an elementary school that takes environmental education seriously with hands-on learning in an outdoor classroom. Jeff Kelm takes us ice fishing on the Turtle Flambeau Flowage near Mercer, and Deb Wolniak goes snow tubing at Sunburst Winter Sports Park in Kewaskum. I'm Dan Small here at Schlitz Audubon Nature Center in Milwaukee. Join us again next week for Outdoor Wisconsin.